What do I think about states' rights? Stay streaming and you'll find out. Okay, well there's a lot of talk right now about states' rights and what it means for this country. Mostly coming out of the Democratic side, because really that's basically the new front of states' rights, is where the attorney generals of all these states are suing because they believe that the health care bill is unconstitutional. I'm not going to talk about that because, frankly, I would like to get a little bit more informed about that whole deal before I go into it, but what I really want to talk about is states' rights. Right now, Democrats are framing states' rights as a bad thing, mostly because it's a new thing for Republicans to be touting. But the truth is, Democrats have been touting states' rights for a long time on issues like gun control and marijuana laws. Really, in California, the fact that they have medicinal marijuana and it's legal in California is a testament to liberals' view of states' rights. Really, what we need to do is think about how states' rights is going to affect us, because it seems like that's what's going to be the next big thing in politics. It seems like that's where most of the change is going to come from now. Look at how the federal government handles things, and you see very quickly that because of the size of the federal government and because of the involvement of two sides really in the federal government almost equally, right now Democrats are in control of two of the three branches of government, but that doesn't mean that Republicans can't stop things or have control of things. Obviously they can. Look how hard the healthcare bill was to pass. So we see that because of the equal powers in the federal government, it's very hard to get anything done. But states are different, because much smaller regions, much more specific regions, are usually made up of either mostly Democrats or mostly Republicans. Very few states are, what we call bipartisan states. But the thing is that the states' rights, despite being the cause of all these gay marriage bans, despite being all the causes for these very strict rules on abortion and all these things, are really a good thing. It's a good thing that our states have more rights. Why? Because there's a lot of issues that frankly the federal government just won't touch, like marijuana legalization. Even though Obama is in support of medicinal marijuana, he hasn't really done anything about it besides say that the states can decide, that it's up to them. So he's putting the ball in our court, and I think we should use it. We should go and we should think about our state's government. The problem is that people who really pay attention to politics don't pay much attention to their own state's government. They watch CNN, they watch MSNBC, they watch Fox News, and that's mostly federal government news. Very seldom do you really get an idea of what's going on in your own state. And that's what I think people should start doing. Because now, the future of our political system is really held in the states. I think with more and more issues, presidents are going to be afraid to confront and just say, let the states handle it. Let the states do that. Democrats were about to do that with the public option, saying let the states decide who wants public option. It didn't happen, but it could have, and if that did happen, we would have to figure out how would we get our state government to impose or not impose a public option. So what I think we should do is we should look at this as a good thing, because now we have the power to really get something done. Because it's a lot easier to get something done in our own state's government than it is in the federal government. And one person makes a lot bigger difference than in all the 50 states. So what we need to do is pay more attention to our representatives, our senators, any local government, and any state government officials. And if you are in support of marijuana legalization, or decriminalization of marijuana laws, or just legalization of medicinal marijuana, then we need to figure out which of our politicians support that thing and which don't. Because quite frankly, I don't even know. A lot of people don't know. And people need to take the responsibility and take the time to figure out who they want to support. Because really, especially here in Miami, there's a real disconnect between me and local government officials. Why? Because they're mostly, they don't, most of the people in Florida, and especially the people in Miami, are not looking to get young people's votes, especially not young non-Hispanic people. They're looking for older Cuban people and older people from Latin America, have the biggest say in things in Miami politics. But that can change because now we know that if we want to get something done, especially to legalize marijuana, especially to give changes to gun control, especially to give social changes like to legalize or make illegal gay marriage, we should do our own government in the state. And we should pay attention to who supports what.